I believe that Pilates should be accessible to everybody. I think it's a beautiful form of fitness. I'm a certified Pilates instructor, and I teach where I live in a small remote community in North Vancouver Island. I feel that Pilates, specifically reformer Pilates, has become something a little bit more accessible to the wealthy. And I don't love the elitism that this is creating. I think fitness is for everybody. Accessibility is something that I integrate into my business model and the way that I teach. And so what I've done is I bought this viral mini reformer board from betterme because I was curious to check it out. Hey friend, welcome back to Wild Coast Pilates. My name is Danny. I've got Miss Roma here. She's gonna help me in the unboxing of the mini reformer board that I purchased from betterme Pilates. Real quick, the reason I purchased this is because I do not have a reformer. I live in North Vancouver Island. I run a small Pilates, pole dance, and aerial fitness business out of my home, and my Pilates classes are out of the back of my car. Basically, I run around from different locations, including our beach here, with a bunch of baskets full of stuff. The reason I purchased this is because I figured it could be a really cool way to bridge the gap and maybe start to make it a little bit more accessible. So I figured buying one prototype firstly for myself could be a really good way to check out if it could be feasible for using in my classes. So let's have a look. Oh, we're gonna do that now. You're gonna show your friends your toy? Hey? What do you think? Let's have a look. Hey, Roms, come here. So opening it up, it's still in the plastic. I haven't opened it. I haven't done anything, so I don't know what to expect. When I looked on YouTube for different reviews, I'm seeing a variety of reviews for reformally ones from a different brand. I'm not seeing a whole lot about this one. I really liked this one because I like the color palette. I love me a good brown, as you can tell by my yoga mat. But let's have a look and see what's inside. So we've got our user manual. We've got our handles and our bands. Oh, we got a timer. Sweet, cool. And we got foam. So this looks nice and squishy. I'd say it's about a 1/2 inch thick. Doesn't indent too easily. Let's see how this feels in terms of comfort. Oh yeah, that's not bad. Okay, sweet. So I purchased this from their website. I got paid 250 Canadian dollars for it, and it came pretty quickly. There we go. Pop that over here. So I love the color. It's this beautiful chocolate brown. So pretty. I can see that it folds. And I'm just looking at the back here. Let me spin this around for you guys so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, so this is my honest review. I purchased this with my own money. This was not sent to me. I am not a social media influencer, as you can probably tell. I'm just a messy-haired girly in North Vancouver Island who loves sharing fitness with the world. So already there's a couple of these little pads that have fallen off. So I can see this one completely fell off, and I'm assuming these are the non-slide friends. Oh yeah, there's another one right here that fell off. So okay, don't love that. And it looks like there's actually one completely missing here as well. So that's interesting. Okay, minor thing though. So there's a couple of screws here that hold things in place. Everything does look pretty full, but I can actually see that the edges here are not fully aligned. And there's actually a little bit of wiggle here. If you guys can see, this kind of moves around a bit. So let's actually look at what this translates to, because I don't really know what to expect. So when I put this guy down here, these guys slide up. Okay, that's not bad. Let's see. There's a good amount of resistance. I'm pushing down on it so it doesn't feel flimsy. It actually feels pretty solid. That's pretty cool, like that. And then let's see here. If we slide this guy forward, okay, so that actually glides pretty well. I was expecting it to snag a little bit in the center here. That was a common thing that came up in some of the reviews for other boards that I looked at. They were saying that it kind of gets caught, but this actually does a pretty good job of sliding. Now let's have a look here. Now I'm doing this all winging it with you guys because I haven't even opened the plastic, as you can see, but I was super, super curious about this. So let's check it out. So I guess this guy just kind of clips down in here and then you turn it. Nope. Okay, so that doesn't really clip in there the way it's supposed to. I think you're supposed to push this down. That's where it's supposed to fit, and it's supposed to twist, but it doesn't. Here we go. Okay, got it. Oh, that was tough. Okay, that wasn't the easiest, but perhaps let's just give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's just because it's brand new out of the box, or I mean, I could be the problem. You never know. But let's have a look and see, putting both of these guys in here, and just see how it feels. I do really love the color. I like it a lot. And I mean, for basically about $50 more than a reformerly board, I got this beautiful brown color, which I personally just find is so soothing. But ooh, this guy does not want to go in. There we go. Got it. Okay. So let's have a look here. Let's test out the tension. Okay. So full honesty, if you're a super fit person, this might be a little bit underwhelming for you. It's not bad, and I could see how over time this would get really exhausting. Like, my biceps are definitely feeling it now. That being said, I kind of wish they had a few different options for their resistance. This is kind of I'd say a lighter to medium resistance. It's not quite what I hoped for. Also, you obviously have to stand because this is going to move around, and I'm worried that that would snap right in the center, but it's not the worst. Okay. And then we've got different handles here. See, this is the fun, is I'm definitely not that friend you want to invite over when you buy IKEA furniture. It is my worst nightmare. Here we go. But considering I'm a little camera shy and I'm just winging it, I think I'm doing pretty good. What do you guys think? I'd love for you to leave me a little comment and let me know. Okay, so we got little handles here, which is pretty neat. So it looks like you can do all kinds of sliding stuff if you fold these guys down. Okay, one thing I'm observing is it does kind of jam when I move these, and I do worry that over time this will break. It is plastic ultimately. You can't expect too much. But let's see here. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it does glide quite well. Obviously, you probably want to get this guy out of the way. That was probably not the smartest thing for me to do. Now, I also want to try just separating these two. So there's a little metal friend here, which moves over, and I'll do a close-up video at the end of this as well, so you can have a look. Oop. Okay, so it actually does glide pretty smoothly. It's much better than I was expecting. That was my biggest concern, was how well it would glide. Okay, so that's actually not terrible. I think my biggest concern with this is really just making sure that it's not super flimsy and that it doesn't fall apart, because it is plastic. It does move around. I've also heard that they slide around on the floor. So having it on a mat is probably the smartest thing. And then finally, we've just got our timer here. What do you think? Are you going to inspect? Are you going to be our quality control friend? See? Oh, it's got a little cute little screwdriver and everything. How cute. So we've got our battery, we've got our timer, and we've got our screwdriver, and it just clips right into place. So I will put this into the close-up video in just a minute. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. Like I said, I purchased this as a trial for my business to bridge the gap between accessibility to a reformer, because as a small business owner, I definitely do not have thousands of dollars for a reformer, not even for myself. I teach out of a variety of locations throughout North Vancouver Island. So I was curious to try this out because I figured if I were to buy a few of them, I could stack them easily in my car, take them to the different places I teach Pilates, and see how it goes. Full honesty, I'm not 100% sure I would use this for business purposes. It is all right for now. I'm curious to see how it's going to hold up over time. I think it's probably better for personal use. I don't love it, feels a little bit flimsy. I was hoping it would be a little bit more solid considering the price point. Also, again, these bands, I think that they're just a little bit, they're okay. They're okay. I mean, I understand we're all at different fitness levels. So perhaps you have one, you're like, Danny, what are you talking about? It's too hard or it's too easy. So we're all kind of different. I just really wish that they would give you a few different, what do you think? A few different options. You can't eat that though. That's not food. But overall, I think it's pretty good. Again, it's not the cheapest. But considering you're saving easily thousands of dollars, it is a cool way to recreate the reformer in your home. And also curious, I brought my very old weight scale, as you can see. Okay, so we're just around the 10-pound mark. And it's roughly, I measured it earlier, it's about 17 inches wide and roughly 23, if I'm not mistaken, inches this way. I'll put the actual numbers in the description. But my reasoning was to see, could it fit in a suitcase? So anyway, it could probably fit in a bigger suitcase, but not a small one. But it's not bad once it's all folded up. So yeah, never hesitate to leave me a comment if you have any questions as well, because I was trying to research this specific item and I really just didn't find anything on YouTube, which is what spurred me forward to make this video for you guys, because everybody else was reviewing different ones. A lot of them were people that were sponsored by the company. I was really curious about this one because I just love this color. Hi, and this is Wilma. She likes it too. But yeah, I just wasn't finding a lot of good reviews out there. Okay, so let's try and get a little close up for you here. As you can tell, I'm definitely not a videographer, nor am I a fitness influencer. I just like to make videos. So thank you guys, by the way, for tuning in. So this is the instruction manual here. It's a little bit limited in my opinion. I would have really expected a bit more. Again, I just think that for the amount that you're spending, they could have probably done a better effort. They've got a handful of exercises, I think a total of 6 that they show you. And that's pretty much it. Then they've got the warnings, storage, maintenance, use, etc., and then just the catalog for their stuff. And then they've got QR codes on the back. So this I'm definitely curious to check out for mini reformer workouts. And then, of course, the QR for their store. I'm a super, super picky instructor. I'm very technical. I'm very detail oriented. I've been a little bit leery of these guys' content just because I don't see, or at least I haven't seen a lot of great cueing in terms of preventing injury or alignment. But that being said, I also haven't looked into it a lot. So this is what the board looks like up close. You've got your 2 handles. So I guess you're supposed to be able to like fold it and carry it that way. That's not bad. I'll be toting this to the beach to do videos and stuff for you guys as well. So we'll see over time how this guy holds up. What I don't love is there's a little bit of this wiggling around, but I guess that's maybe supposed to be there. I'm not super experienced with these devices either, so keep that in mind as well. This is just my opinion as a person who literally just opened the package. So from here, you can see this guy built like that, just clips in and you twist. It's a lot easier now that I've done it a couple of times. I found the resistance to be a little bit on the weak side. I personally would have liked a few options. These guys here, you can slide it forward. As you can see, there's a tube in there that gives you the resistance and it does slide pretty well. I was concerned about it catching in the center here, but it's actually moving pretty all right. As you can see, the whole thing will move on you though. So you definitely want to make sure you have a little bit of pressure. And then when I fold it down, these guys kind of get stuck. So I want to make sure I just put them down carefully. I've got the timer that sits in here. It came with the battery already in, and then they gave an extra with a cute little screwdriver if you have to replace it. There is another spot right here for the timer, but I can't get this plastic guy out of here. I'll have to flip it over and give it a wicked smack, I suppose. But this is essentially it from up close. These little handles also just screw in so you can use them. And I'm definitely curious to play around with this guy a little bit more. And then this is the foam pad that it comes with. So it's about a 1/2 inch thickness. It seems like it's relatively durable. Kind of wish it would come with some sort of a carry case, just because if you're traveling with it and stuff, or like me, if you're going to use it for beach flows, it would be really nice, but that's all right. These are the grippy stickers. As you can see, the ones that fell off, I just stuck them back on, but I don't love that. And there's actually 2 that are missing right here as well. So that's not great. The edges are not super, super sharp. So that's nice. I like that. And the screws are all in place. There's 4 different screws. I do see though at some spots the edges are kind of not fully aligned. But overall, I do think for a plastic mini reformer, if you're trying to bridge the gap between this and having a real one, like as you can see, it doesn't flex too much if I put all my weight on it. It's actually pretty stable, and the glide is actually quite good. So it's not as bad as I was expecting. I'm really curious to see over time how this holds up. So this is just my honest opinion. This was my first impression taking this out of the box. Again, just to reiterate, these are purely my opinions. This is nothing against the company. It's nothing against them. These are just my own observations as a certified Pilates teacher, someone with over 15 years experience teaching in the fitness industry, but also as a nurse and somebody with a plethora of injuries from like weird tweaky movements. I'm just on high alert for a lot of different things. I also want to mention being an aerialist, I know I have rather higher upper body strength than a lot of people. So perhaps that's something to consider as well when I'm critiquing their resistance in these rubber bands. Again, I didn't really see any reviews about this out there on the internet, and I really wish I would have had something like this when I was considering purchasing it. Overall, I'm honestly quite happy with it. I don't want to come off as a downer. I am actually quite impressed. It's a lot more solid than I expected. The glide is way better. Again, these guys not squeezing in there right away was most likely me also not looking at the instruction manual and it being brand new. But there are a few small things to consider, and I really hope that this is helpful because, as I mentioned, I just didn't see anybody do one for the specific brand. So my hope is that at least if you're considering it, it could help guide you, because I almost bought 8 of these for my business, and I'm kind of happy I didn't. I'm happy that I just got one. I think this is going to be more for personal use. Definitely excited to tote this out to the West Coast whenever the weather decides to stop raining, and I will make some videos for us, so definitely stay tuned for that. I really hope this was helpful. Please feel free to leave me some questions or comments, anything like that. If you're considering buying one for yourself and you just want my honest opinion, I'm an open book, happy to help. I personally think it's a pretty cool item. I'm quite happy with it. Might not be for everybody though. Don't love that 2 of the stickers on the bottom are missing. I think that's a very minor detail, mind you. But again, I also believe in integrity and accountability. And if somebody is selling you something especially at a certain price point, and especially for safety stuff like sliding, I just believe that you should be really thorough with these things. But anyway, all in all, I'm quite happy. So until I see you next time, take good care, and I will see you soon.